Go out on social media, hashtag DHS15, and let everyone know that this event is going to be awesome. This is kind of what they wanted, right? People outcried for so long. Why are we doing the 8-man, 16-man invitationals when we can do a Swiss tournament? It's finally happening.
It
costs actually a lot of resources here at DreamHack. They're doing amazing work when it comes to organizing this tournament, and it's really something big. To organize a first Swiss major tournament, it's really something big. By the way, are they from the same team? They wear the same clothes.
It looks pretty similar.
It's pretty similar, yeah.
But it's not. Instead, we're going to start off with... Oh, well, actually, I don't think the classes necessarily are reflective of it. I was like, are they really bringing Priest, both of them?
Yeah, that's
well, we'll get it fixed in the meanwhile.
That's surprising.
It's surprising because I look at Warlock, and I think that is the class of the tournament. Like, I think everyone will bring Warlock because it's just so strong currently in the metagame, and it's just really versatile. It can be any type of deck. It could be fast. It could be slow. And it's also really versatile to start off in the series, so I think this is a great pick on both ends.
I love the Demon Lord. That's my favorite deck currently. I love it to play on stream. It's really strong also. So I don't blame Savjz here bringing this. I hope Savjz is that because, you know.
Yeah, it seems like Savjz brought the Demon Lord.
Yeah, that's right.
But then we have...
No, it's actually... Oh, no, wait.
Oh, this is going to get a little confusing, guys. You recognize the names aren't correct. Orange is actually the person on the right, and Savjz is on the left here. And Savjz, he looked really coy and cheeky, so he could be playing the Flame Imp.
Yeah, that would be my guess too. Like, he played that Flame Imp because he was like, oh, I got you there, bro. There's a one mana, 3/2 minion. And I don't care about the blowback.
That's right, Savjz took 3 blowback right off the bat.
And Orange is really concentrating on what to do here. He has a great opening with Ancient Watcher and Silence, so he will be able to start trading. And this is something you need to stop the Demon Lock.
Well, when it comes to the matchup in general, Handlock has a huge advantage over Demon Lock. That's one of the worst matchups for Demon Lock, actually. Unless you have a really great... let's say Bane of Doom into Mal'Ganis or Doomguard, right? You're kind of doomed.
Wait, come on. There are some other ways to win the matchup as well, right?
Well, you have to rush and hope no Molten Giants for you, bro.
Yeah, well, even more than Molten Giants, sometimes they play Molten Giants, but they have no taunts.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's just like,
important.
you know, Molten Giant, anti-Keel bot, and then they die anyways. You can win by building amount pressure, but at the same time, Orange doesn't have, you know, too much pressure coming his way. He's stabilized the board, relatively speaking, for now, but the Imp Gang boss here doesn't really have an answer other than the Ironbeak Owl.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he will be able to use the Owl here and top as well. Yeah, he has Belcher on turn 5.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
That's a really great draw. What I wanted to say is that the Molten Giant is practically dead in this matchup. There's really a small chance.
The Mountain Giant.
Yeah, the Molten Giant is practically dead because, as you can see now, it costs 7 but double Molten.
That's great.
That's really awesome. Because
yeah, with the Sun Fury.
I guess in about 2 turns, Savjz will be asking himself a question: do I need to do more damage this turn to drop Orange below 15?
Oh,
well, that's a great card.
No, that's an awesome card, and this is a deck that the placement of the minions really matters, like a lot, because you have cards like Abusive Sergeants, Void Terrors, Direwolves, and Defender of Argus, so the placement is something that really matters.
Another Mountain Giant. I can already see the scenario with the Void Caller, by the way. Imp producing some Imps and a couple of Demons on board, and then the Mal'Ganis actually killing, just entering the board.
That is interesting placement, because if you want to eat the Void Caller to get the stats on the Void Terror and also put out Demons, then don't you want the 1/1s to be spawning on the right, and you eat that plus
well, not
the Void
exactly.
Caller?
In my experience, the Imp Gang boss should be always on the far left of the board. So then you have also better placement for buffs, like an example Direwolf, because if you spawn the 1/1, then you have the Direwolf always buffing the 1/1, the newly spawned 1/1, and you have, like, you know, constant flow of minions that are buffed. Right, and that's what you're saying, right? So the placement of the Void Caller is kind of bad. I would definitely first tap here.
Well, doesn't he want to play the Void Terror and the?
I don't think so. This is not the turn when you want to play the Void Terror yet.
Yeah, you just keep the. Oh, he's going for the Void
Terror. He disagrees. I mean, this is a pretty big tempo swing. If you get turn 5 Mal'Ganis right off the bat here,
and you have so many demons as well. You're getting an Imp. You have the Voidwalker.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a massive turn.
Good sequencing, too, to make sure that he minimizes the damage taken based off the Imp boss getting buffed.
Yeah,
so if it gets silenced now, it still stays at high health.
But he has no AoEs here.
How much damage is that?
If he silences Mal'Ganis.
Wait, actually, I forgot that the Voiter is buffed beyond measures.
Oh my god, it's like a giant.
So that was actually a great turn by Savjz here, and then definitely worth playing the Voiter here.
There's 9, 12, 15. I'm counting right to left, plus 12, so that's 27 damage. Assuming this can all hit phase.
Well, you did count without the debuff, right?
Right. Now that you silence the Mal'Ganis, you lose 8 damage on the board, so it'd be 19 damage. Twilight Drake plus silence on the Mal'Ganis, but there is 2 damage existing in hand, right?
Yeah, the Savjz Vargas, and that's it. So what do you do? Do you silence Mal'Ganis, or do you Twilight Drake?
Well, you Twilight Drake taunt, but that doesn't do anything either. You have to deal with the Mal'Ganis by silencing it because the buff is too big.
And that would be it.
And there's a lot of draws that Savjz could get, like a Power Overwhelming that would end the game too, as if it isn't already.
Yeah. Now he's counting twice to be sure.
Right.
So that's 10, 11, 13, 19, exactly 21.
Exactly.
He can first tap to see.
What? Wait,
is he missing lethal?
9, 10.
Yeah, he
13,
has the damage.
Yeah, he has 21 damage right now.
Yeah, that's 21.
Yeah. He's got this.
You sure? Because it doesn't look like it.
No, he's just.
He's counting it again.
The order of which he attacked doesn't matter. No,
okay,
for sure.
I think he got it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Realize there's no way he misses it at this point. He's at 2 health.
Yeah, at this point, it's just 1 health. Wow, the turn 6 kill by Savjz on turn.
On turn 6.
This is why Zoo is so powerful, and you can't even really call it officially Zoo. It's just like a mid-range Warlock, because the tempo that it's able, Demon Lock, the tempo you can gain from an early Void Caller is absolutely nuts to be able to summon a Mal'Ganis. And not only that, but it also rebounds really well with the life tap. The hero power that draws you a card each turn allows you to keep up the gas. So even though there are big board wipes, even though there are big opportunities for AoE or patron clears, you can still be able to rebound and pressure your opponent and kill him.
The only problem with this deck is it might be kind of awkward because of the other draws. Like you can draw 2 double POs, Dr. Boom into, let's say, double Doomguard, or Mal'Ganis opening hand. It can be really awkward when it comes to draws, but when it curves out perfectly, it's really insane.
Yeah, it's really
and also, even if you get a bad draw, but you have a Void Caller on turn 3 or 4, then it can be turned around anyway, even with a bad hand. So it's just about the Void Caller in most of the situation. If it gets silenced, then it's a bad scenario.
All right, so Orange here decides to take his Hunter instead of Handlock.
Yeah, this could be like another thing that also puts Savjz at a severe advantage, is that Orange also revealed that it's Handlock and he didn't win. Yeah. So, and it could have gone the opposite direction where Savjz, now that Orange knew it was that mid-range Demon Lock or whatever you want to call it, he could have taken advantage of the mulligans easier if he beat it. But now these decisions might snowball as time goes on.
True.
And we are going to see the Grim Patron Warrior versus Hunter, which is it seems like mid-range with web spinners.
Yeah,
and,
it's kind of 50-50, I would say.
If we want to peg Warlock as the main actor for this movie called DreamHack Summer 15, the supporting cast is definitely Hunter and Patron. I think you will be seeing a lot of decks really mix this idea. And I'm not even really saying mid-range Hunter, but even perhaps Face Hunter or even Control Warrior being in the mix here, because you get to play around with the dynamic of lineups. Conquest is not about one particular dominant deck, even though Patron's amazing. Hunter's great and Warlock is sick.
It is about the lineup.
It's about the lineup of how you set things.
But on the other hand, we have a lot of Swedish local players that are playing in this tournament. It's not only pro players. And what do you think those guys are going to bring?
Harrison and Acidic Swamp Ooze. Like, those are the 2 cards I'm looking at that everyone's like, I don't care maybe if I can win this tournament, but if I'm going to take down a pro, I'm going to bring a lot of Ooze and Harrison.
Well, I did the same move against JJ in deck battles last week, and it didn't pan out because...
because Frothing Berserkers.
Yeah, because Frothing Berserkers and double Whirlwinds that can mess everyone up.
For sure. All right, well, we haven't really talked too much about this game, but it's been relatively straightforward. Warrior has curved out, so to speak, where it has a really strong response to Warrior.
And the Freezing Trap didn't have really much to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't do much, but then again, for Savjz, it's an amazing hand. A Death Spite, Whirlwind, he had draw effects, he had the Acolyte of Pain, and
that's Orange.
That's
all right, Orange is
playing Hunter.
No.
Okay. No, Orange
he's playing the Warrior.
Okay, yeah.
Wait.
The classes were switched, I think.
Savjz is playing the Hunter.
Yes, Savjz is playing the Hunter.
Yes, the overlay has been fixed. Everything is correct, I believe.
But the Warrior's hand was amazing, and it still is very good.
What he needs to draw is an inner rage. That's basically it.
To get the Death Spike combo, but he opted to go for Armor Smith instead.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, because most of the time when you have like a double Grim Patron in the hand, even if you play against a Hunter with Unleash the Hounds, you just want to go with the Grim Patrons as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
He does not necessarily.
Well, he does know that this is a mid-range Hunter too. Like, Web Spinner is very rare to see in aggressive.
Oh, Core Rager, that's kind of okay.
Core Rager works, okay, like, I haven't actually played much with this card. Uh-oh, confessions time. I don't know what Core Rager does. It's your opponent having less health?
Is it?
Oh, no, this is the one
this
if
is
you're
the
holding one
when
card.
No, when you're holding no cards.
No cards, okay.
Then it's 7/7.
Then it's okay. Then it gets nerfed.
Yeah,
It's a big game Hunter range.
Yeah, that's true. It should be 6/7, right?
It should be. That'd be balanced.
Nerf to 6/7. There's the first
buff
Lion.
to 6/7. That's what
By the way, the
Armor
Armor Smith was probably played to get a better Battle Rage and to deal with the aggression.
Right.
There was no each other.
But now High Main is here, and that's definitely going to be a painful exchange if you're going to take the damage.
Well, you have double whirlwinds, right? So
I think
no.
But the Death Rattle will activate second. So because the High Main was played second, the Whirlwind won't hit the 2/2s.
I think you can ignore High Main for now. You can actually go with the Green Patron turn. Just get the Green Patron Whirlwinds and go for face. Because it's not like you really have to defend. You can just start racing.
The problem is you used your Armor Smith, and I think the Armor Smith should have been kept after you play the Green Patron, so you can get more armor after you spawn the minions.
But then again, mid-range counter is not that fast.
It's not that fast, but then it hits like a truck.
It hits like a Lothar.
Oh. He even speaks my name.
Close. Yeah, this Whirlwind's not going to kill off the 2/2s, and that's pretty disappointing. Although what it does do is it spawns 2 additional Grim Patrons.
Which can be dealt with ease, I would say, right? If he wants to deal with those. Because Warrior's at 20, which is kind of okay. But if you count the damage, that's 4 from the Hyenas, 5 from Kill Command. So that's already 9.
11 damage that's sitting
and
in here.
he used 1 Armor Smith. So what Savjz might be thinking, okay, maybe I just go face here, and that's it.
And race?
Yeah, and race, and start the race.
It's not like he can deal with those Green Patrons.
If he would see the Armor Smith still being in his hand, he would have to trade now. Because he wouldn't be able to win the game if the Armor Smith would just be played after the Patrons.
But on the other hand, you might be scared of frauding Warsong. So if you play minions. That's why he was thinking about Lothar maybe, to stop a second Whirlwind. That will be devastating. And will lose him the game. He's looking at 12 points of damage right now, so he will be himself at 16.
Well, the Web Spinner's kind of okay. You can play the Web Spinner count on drawing Unleash the Hound. Unleash the Hound, sorry. Next turn. Then you have like how much damage? 7 damage, I guess.
Assuming he clears your board.
Yeah, I guess that will be the.
I mean, with Lothar played, how do you realistically clear this? Oh, he has a cool Taskmaster. Okay, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And that should be a full clear on Orange's side, but is he going to be able to withstand the pressure? The thing about Patron is that it ramps up damage so quickly, especially because of things like Frothing Berserker. That's a legitimate threat.
The nuts.
Yeah. Also, you always win the board control fights because you have those patrons. And Frothing Berserker is actually funny that the deck is called the Green Patron Warrior, where the Frothing Berserker is the key card that wins most of the games.
Right.
Really? I wouldn't say so. Like.
Well, it is a key card a lot of times if you're playing against a lineup that knows about Patron. So if they're bringing Handlock because they feel like it's good against Patron, Frothing Berserker is way more valuable.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But still, the Patron is
the bigger Patron.
The Patron is more of a defensive move.
Yeah.
Than an
But you never
move.
call it like Unleash the Hounds Hunter, even though Unleash the Hounds is kind of what functions similar to Grim Patron.
What about Mad Scientist Hunter?
Yeah,
Mad Scientist Hunter.
Fair enough. By the way, shout out to Web Spinner pulling out another Web Spinner. That's it feels like it happens a little bit more often than it should.
Is it still your favorite card?
No, Unstable Portal became my favorite card after.
The East Portal.
That's right. Well, that's a full board, and that is a Frothing Berserker that's gonna die to.
Well, there's a freezing trap, right? No, wait.
No, that's an explosive trap. That's an explosive trap.
Oh.
That's explosive. But you do Battle Rage here, I believe, first.
You draw
4 cards.
You draw 4 cards. If you attack into explosive, you still draw 4 cards.
Yes.
So I guess at this point, if you draw with Battle Rage, you get the cards before you attack, so you can choose your options later.
So what can you draw to somehow
win the game?
Change the outcome of this? I don't think you can draw anything.
Whirlwind's Frauding, maybe?
Unless he has like Commanding Shout out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and just
Commanding Shout will be
destroy
insane.
Yeah. Whirlwind here wouldn't do much.
Well, the Whirlwind will actually free some.
But why would you do that?
No.
That's like.
Actually, Whirlwind means he can't attack with anything this turn.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't spawn more patrons, and then the ones that also get out are weakened.
Yeah, I think he was considering Whirlwind. If something will survive and spawn patrons, then he can go with Warstone. But then, as you mentioned, like nothing would actually work there.
Well, anyway, this doesn't look bad for Orange. Like. Even with 14 health, but the Belcher will stop like at least 8, I would say.
Yeah, and one kill command was already used, so he knows that he is in a good spot, especially because it's a mid-range hunter. So it's not like it's going to burst him out of 40 points of health.
And also in this scenario, Whirlwind, like you said, doesn't spawn the patrons, but Whirlwind can be pretty effective, generally speaking, with such a fragile board.
Second Battle Rage, doesn't he need that?
Hold on,
that's
he's got lethal because he's got Grommash.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap up the game, assuming the bombs don't just straight up kill Grommash.
Yeah, that's a chance.
It's like if it hits Grommash twice for 8.
Oh, he didn't.
No,
wow, double
that was some bad boom bots.
All right, so Orange is going to tie the series versus Savjz. Warrior out, 1 Warlock out. So for Savjz, what's left? There's the Hunter, it's still there. And
the Warrior.
Also
I guess he will be playing Patron himself.
Yes,
he played a lot of Patron on his stream. And he roped a lot of time too.
I wonder if he gets the Brawl and Harrison Jones as well. Like he was playing those cards, and he really liked Harrison.
Yeah, Savjz really likes bringing Brawl specifically to also kill other patrons. That's one of the things they always argue. If you are the first patron warrior to play in the mirror and get the Grim Patrons onto the board, you have a significant advantage. You probably just win there. And if you have Brawl, you can come back. Not to mention Harrison's
there is a couple of cool strategies. Grim Patron versus Grim Patrons is really specific. Like you can allow your opponent to go into Patrons and then win with Fraudings, but game 3 is ready here. That mid-range Hunter versus Handlock.
Yeah, now he knows his Handlock. Hunter's Mark becomes a lot better to keep as a card here. It's probably one of your most valuable cards, especially with Web Spinner, which can trade into it, keep up your card count in the hand, and you can keep dropping things on curve, which is so powerful with the mid-range Hunter.
But Orange also knows it's a mid-range Hunter, so Orange has a bit more wiggle room. Like he doesn't.
That's true.
Yeah, if it's not a face Hunter, he can mulligan differently.
Although realistically, does Handlock prefer to play against an aggressive Hunter or more of a mid-range setup?
I think it prefers against aggressive Hunter.
I think so too,
because it has more tools to deal with that, like Mortal Coils. Dark Bombs are more important against anything in that deck because it just kills one minion, whatever minion. Because there's nothing with more than 3 health, right?
Yeah.
Well, Misha.
Because what Face Hunter tries to do is optimize damage per mana crystal or damage per card. And what they do is they try to put the pressure on non-stop, and they will drain you to Molten Giant health range. Versus mid-range could take their time setting up and then do 25 in a turn because they have a high main and a Loatheb and like a kill command quick shot. It's like at that point, it's really difficult to set up Molten Giant to really race your opponent. Versus Handlock's really good at stabilizing at low points, but still being able to outrace their opponent.
Which is super fun. Sorry, but which is super funny because that thing that you just said about the matchup changed immediately after adding the heal bot. Because without the heal bots, it was a really bad matchup for the Handlock. But after the heal bots, it changed, and now the Handlock prefers to play against the aggressive ones rather than the mid-range ones.
But it changes again if you know what you are playing against. Because if I know that I'm playing versus mid-range Hunter, I will not keep the Zombie Chow maybe. I'll just go for the Twilight Drake, Mountain Giant, and try to have the mid-range game.
I would always keep Zombie Chow against a Hunter. Like, always.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better the longer the game goes.
Maybe Zombie Chow was not the best call there, but you will mulligan for the bigger stuff.
All right, so Savjz is going to be in an awkward spot here just because of the mana curve and the usage here. He was hovering over the Haunted Creeper. Seems reasonable considering that it'd make his board as resilient to AoE as possible. There are options like Hellfire or Shadow Flame in case it got too good of a board.
I would think about sacrificing Web Spinner just to get the draw first, and maybe it'll have been better. Something better than Web Spinner.
You know that he's not going to be playing Mountain Giant because he already played a card. If you're going first as the Handlock, you have to tap on turns 2 and 3 in order to play a turn 4 Mountain Giant.
Yep.
And so the best creature that can come out here, or minion, excuse me, is the Twilight Drake. So I guess he's saving that for the Twilight Drake to use it with the Hunter's Mark, and then he can gain some pretty significant tempo on the board.
That's a good point.
That's pretty good curve, by the way, for Savjz, even for Orange, even though he doesn't have the Shadow Flame yet.
Double kill commands.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. The 2 kill commands gives a lot of range possibilities here, and you're always calculating based off what.
Okay.
That's the second time that happened.
Awesome. Now, see, the first time was kind of like meh, but the second time, that's awesome. The third time is like, okay, well, who from Blizzard's here watching this game, controlling the RNG with the button in the back?
Well, the Knife Juggler feels really bad in this turn, but I think it's the necessary evil here.
Is it, though? Because the thing is, the Web Spinner at worst will give you another beast, so that way you can have the kill commands. And Knife Juggler doesn't have to be susceptible to AoE here.
Yeah, and you kind of want to bait AoE or maybe silence the Watcher, or even if you get Defender Vargas.
Won't bait AoE with that kind of board.
That's true. It's pretty weak.
Well, you will bait maybe Defender Vargas, so then you can play Juggler and get some value from the knives.
That will be, well, we're coming into turn 5. What I would have guessed is like, no, this will be a Belcher turn because there was no Giants. That was like, he was really thinking a lot about turn 4. So my guess is, okay, he wants to curve out on turn 5 because he really thinks badly how I want to play the Twilight Drake this turn, right? So.
But Argus was a possibility as well. And then Twilight Drake was better than
When
Argus.
did he play the Ancient Watcher? Turn 2?
Turn 3, I believe.
That was a really weird move, by the way.
Yeah, we actually didn't talk much about it, but there's a lot of decisions that ended up going to it. So what are the chances of another Web Spinner?
Well, let's see.
Oh.
Well, it's
And Chaco Panther is still fine.
a Pussycat.
I think it's a little bit more ferocious than a house cat there. The Jungle Panther is still susceptible to AoE, but the stealth is really powerful because, again, that latent damage where you don't have to attack, you can just sit on it and just attack at the opportune moment is really powerful, especially in conjunction with Kill Command. If the board ever becomes clear to the point where Handlock doesn't want a Hellfire because it puts themselves too low of a health health count, then Jungle Panther sits there, and then it becomes forever a Kill Command activator.
It also kills half the Giants.
It also kills, half a Giant too, to help you push through in case it gets taunted.
The horror scenario for Hunter is they taunted Molten Giant but with Defend of Argus because the 9 health is just pushing it over range of anything that has like easy, like let's say Eagle from Bow, Kill Command, that's 8, right? You're missing 1 damage to kill the Giant, so that's horrible scenario for the Hunter, but for now he didn't see any Giants yet, so that's good for him.
Torison on 6, a very powerful play for Headlock. But then Savjz has the double kill command, so he's just waiting patiently for the kill.
Wait, how much damage is that?
That's 10,
that's 5,
15 damage.
That's 6 mana, guys, 7 with the coin, so...
We can't play anything for the coin.
Yeah, just...
But can he set up for next turn?
Well, he should attack and not say, I have 2 kill commands. If he plays 1 this turn, he would be saying, okay, I have the second one in my hand. So I guess this will be this should be something different, but he should push for damage here. So I guess he will be playing coin hero power this turn.
That's that works out pretty nicely. The
actually that was really
that was ideal. The way that kind of panned out.
Yeah, that was perfect.
So now he doesn't have to give up his board.
And he doesn't need to push for damage also.
Yeah.
Because the Emperor is not threatening at all this time.
Yeah. Does he need a coin hero power? He can still do that next turn. You get 2 kill commands and coin hero power.
And if you hero power here, you don't play around Molten Giant because then
oh my gosh.
This is GG, right?
Yeah, Orange keeps getting these double mountain giant hands when they're not useful.
Yeah, he has Lothab.
Oh, you're right. Lothab can help deny that. That's if he feels like he should do that.
But he doesn't want to, right? Like because
no, I don't think so.
You don't have anything else like just playing vanilla Lothab.
Well, if you double kill command next turn, how much damage will he have on board? You'll have 2, 4, 7, 17 plus hero power is 18.
Actually
19.
12 damage with the coin and hero power. So
yeah, 19 damage total.
You just need to deal free and have a beast.
Well, Orange will play Lothab here just to deny the possibility of kill commands, Hunter's Mark, maybe there's a second one in the deck, who knows, and he knows that also there's a coin, so the Lothab has the best value this turn, right? Before the...
Does it though?
Yeah, like the thing is like, if you play Lothab, do you win, ever?
Well, what is the other play? Dr. Boom?
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Because
this is nothing that you want to
how
play.
much damage is there on board?
There's
5, 7, 9 with hero power, so there's 6 more.
6 more from a hunter? I guess that's really easy.
Mid-range?
Yeah, that's like animal companion into you know,
I
the
don't know.
always hover.
You will have
not
you have
total
5
not
mana.
random hover.
You have 5 mana left, so you will have animal companion
Right.
and Q commands.
Yeah. Now
I can understand Lotheb. It's like it's blocking the coin as you said and Q commands. But it's not winning him the game.
he needs to draw something relevant next turn anyway, otherwise he loses.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, what at this point, Savjz has 9 mana next turn, so he can jungle Panther, double kill command on the coin. So
yeah, that's really
he actually has like all reason to push into here and try to maximize his damage. By the way, insane juggles to the face into Lotheb.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like he can just go and shove, right?
Yeah, it's like
Lotheb's
all
already
in.
played.
Yeah.
And Handlock can't generate 22 damage based off of this unless he's playing like a Leroy.
Well, even though we've seen the Torison, it's not possible to play.
You just put him on 2 so he can't tap too.
Healbot Shadow
You can
Flame would
kill.
be maybe an option.
No, even with that, you're just sure that he won't tap. So if he plays like AoEs, then he can't heal, so it's basically dead.
Yeah, but even Healbot Shadow Flame is not enough. So
well,
still kills him next
he has 2 heal bots.
Yeah, so that's 16.
That's
so
still not
with
enough.
20.
So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 22, and 2 juggles.
So yeah. So I guess he's dead then here. Unless there's a tap that can save him. But Orange, in his opinion, I mean, there's nothing else to do. There's 2 heal bots here that you should play because that maximizes your chance to live. But these 2 Mountain Giants, again, have been sitting dead for so long. And that's going to give Savjz a 2-1 lead.
All right, so Savjz is going to take game number 3 and have a lead 2-1 versus Orange. And that Handlock is struggling.
Well, a Handlock's best matchup is Patron, right?
Yeah.
And,
and that's coming up.
If Orange has... That is Mage. If that's a Freeze Mage, and that's basic... Oh, wow, that's so hard for him. Like, what do you want to do with the Mage here against a Warrior?
Which Mage is best versus... Which Mage is
what
best
if it's Tempo
Patron?
Mage?
Tempo Mage? Well, Tempo Mage struggles against Patron too.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the Tempo Mage is great against Hunter. You know, that's where you can bring and kind of introduce it in your lineup to make sure you're not weak to that. Although, I'm not sure. Freeze Mage has always fallen in and out of popularity, but Orange has been a player who loves Freeze Mage. I mean, a lot of players enjoy that type of thing. Especially if you're playing Patron, though. I mean, how does that even fit in the entire lineup overall? I'm not sure.
That was an Inner Rage. So I guess this is Patron.
Yeah, this is for sure Patron.
But,
but how does the
like
Freeze Mage fit in
the early stages of Hearthstone, Inner Rage was a staple in Warrior, just for the Grommash activator.
That's right. That's how Artosis won BlizzCon. He won with an Inner Rage play.
Yeah.
And a weapon.
Grommash and Inner Rage. Thanks to ECOP.
That was the ECOP Warrior.
That was the ECOP Warrior.
All right, so we mentioned that this is the really
now
bad
ECOP
matchup.
Warrior is a Heroes of the Storm thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
A very bad matchup for Green Patron. And that's because it's hard to get through all those taunts. You have to draw a lot of cards. And you also have to deal with the big creatures. So
the Handlock has just easy trades with this deck. Unless those charge, Warlock has always, almost always an answer to whatever happens on the board.
That Acolyte was so important here. It's very important to get those draws, the Battle Rage, Acolyte, and have that execute as well. So for Savjz, that's a very good hand to start with.
Also, armoring up a 2-2 is not saying to your opponent, okay, I'm Patron.
Yeah,
you know.
I could be Control Warrior.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to draw attention to is how Savjz techs his deck. We saw players like Archon players, specifically Zalay, likes to put in Big Game Hunter into their decks, and that does improve the Handlock matchup.
It does.
By a big margin. But Savjz also is the guy who likes to run Brawl, so I'm curious to see if that ends up being a factor at all, even though it does tend to struggle against the defensive Handlock player, generally speaking.
This is a very difficult turn, by the way. He could consider silencing, or maybe just coining Twilight Drake into Twilight Drake. Setting up those Twilight Drakes early versus the Warrior is so important as well.
I would go for the Twilight Drake, to be honest.
I think I would go for the silence, actually.
It is a little risky considering that you don't want Patron to draw as much as possible. It's a combo deck, and combo is supposed to draw cards. I think that's the primary goal of it.
Yeah, Twilight Drake is risky because they can actually activate it with Taskmasters or Whirlwind.
So now it's Giant turn. No, now you can Twilight Drake into coin Mortal Coil if you really want to.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Maybe Giant.
Giant.
Just Giant. Yeah, just Giant Mortal Coil.
But then, wait, if you use two cards here, then Giant is for 6, so next turn is for 5, so if you tap, it's for 4. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, Giant here is way better than the Twilight Drake.
You might be thinking I want to play Torison next turn with the coin, but then again, your hand is so good that I don't think you need that Torison.
I think you actually can play the Torison, because then Mortal Coil becomes 0 mana, and that's a huge factor, because 0 mana cards are basically broken, in my opinion. Always.
Yeah, but if you go, if you coin now, you will not be executed. So the 8/8 is going to attack, deal a lot of damage.
Right, the pressure.
Yeah.
The pressure that you gain from the Mountain Giant being able to put Handlock, or not, sorry, the Handlock, the Patient Warrior in a very defensive posture makes him uncomfortable. Yeah, so this is a greedy play from Orange. And I mean, double execute is part of the valuable part of defeating Handlock. This is pretty good for Savjz so far.
Savjz has so much options to deal that 1 point of damage to the Giant, and even with a weapon, I was actually thinking, why not use weapon here, just to get the damage to a hero, because you need that battle rage as soon as possible.
That's also a fair criticism. Generally speaking, one of the problems that Patron Warrior has is battle rage can sometimes do nothing. Yeah. You have too much. You have full health. You don't have any damage minions.
Look at that. That's a Dick Swampoos.
That's a great card to play versus Patron.
We're talking about that. That's going to be one of the cards we should pay attention to. How people use not only Harrison Jones, but the acidic Swampoos, because weapon classes are really dominant at the moment.
You ooze or you lose.
Well, I mean, you don't lose right now if you don't ooze the Fiery War Axe.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
No, you want to keep that for Death Spite.
Well, this was an obvious Torison turn, especially because he didn't use the coin last turn. So what Savjz needs, more or less, is the frauding, and he needs some kind of board setup. It's like how you win this matchup is you draw as many cards as possible, and then you set up a double frauding kill on one frauding kill with
he can go Armor Smith, Whirlwind, Battle Rage to draw 3 cards.
And I think he has to do that.
Yeah, drawing cards, again, is imperative. Even though you have the combination of the Grim Patron and the Whirlwind, you don't want to save it, especially because Patron... What is Patron even effective against Handlock? It's against the Ironbeak Owls,
can be.
The Taunt Giver. I mean, it can generally be, but you don't get to really punish and kill the Handlock with Patron combo unless it's late stages in the game.
It's not about Patron combo. It's more about, like, there are 2 approaches to this matchup. So one is obviously win with the frauding. Just allow Handlock to play a couple of cards and then win with the 1 combo burst.
Sure.
But the other is just exhausting removal. So you force first patron, like if you get 2 patrons, for example, you force the first patron, you get like 4 patrons, you force a Hellfire or Shadow Flame, and then you go with the second one. And in certain points, that strategy works because Handlock will not have a second AoE, will not be able to deal with the second patron wave, even though they don't have charge. You just put them on board.
Right, but it doesn't accomplish as much on the board as you'd like it to be because it's not highly impact. There's not a lot of minions you can take advantage of. Almost all of them have 3 attack or higher. And not only that, it's like if you're behind on board ever against Handlock and you have to use patrons, you're not going to win.
Yeah,
they have just like they have a big wall of taunts. Like, well, I created 4 patrons and they all go into the Giant.
Yeah, it's mostly you mostly do it when you're ahead, or like when the board is empty. You just go with a patron and then.
Double Drake here is one of the most powerful moves you can ever do against Patron Warrior. They can't deal with that. Yeah.
And there is a Taunt Giver as well.
Ridiculous.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty great card to draw, too, right around now.
But do you want to use it right now? Well, you have... Yeah, you want to use that right now. Because it doesn't die immediately to the Twilight Drake. And also, you have 2 combo parts in your hand. So, if you draw... Wait, what about Death Spite this turn?
You can't really play anything else if you go Death Spite, so you kind of waste your turn for Death Spite to be played. And with Torison, at least, you hope there is no Defender Vargas. So not only you get a lot of value with the mana reduction, you also put something on board that possibly maybe will challenge those Drakes.
I don't know how much this is relevant, but Savjz should be able to put Orange on Mortal Coil. Orange played the Giant and waited for about a minute against the Loot Hoarder. Yeah. So that I mean that's like a huge commitment. I have Mortal Coil, by the way.
That's why he should first think about the move and then play the Giant.
Now that's totally a life coach thing. So I can tell you've been practicing with him. Now that he has Emperor Thorson, it's like, well, that's an easy trade for a Twilight Drake plus that plus a Mortal Coil.
And so I like the Death Spite really a lot this turn.
Yeah.
Instead of the Emperor here.
So why is that
a powerful move?
Because it also it's threatening your opponent, because if you just play Emperor, it's like, okay, I have at least 2 turns to do something. But if there's a Death Spite on the board, it's like saying to your opponent, okay, it's 8 mana, I can have Flooding Berserker, maybe something else. With Warsong Commander, deal a lot of damage to you right now. But he doesn't know that Orange has the Acidic Swamp boost. So what turns out to be a good move, now is a horrible move.
Yeah, it becomes really awkward, and this Defender of Argus will pump it up, so it's a pretty significant board that you have to deal with. And now it's, again, a direct challenge to Emperor Thorson, even though it will reduce the cost of your cards, and most likely you'll have to play it.
And there was already 2 executes used.
Yeah.
So that's also huge for Orange to know that.
And also Savjz doesn't have any more draw, so at this point he's stuck with the cards he has. There are no Whirlwind effects, only the Inner Rage. So he can't generate that much damage. He really needs to draw, what, like a Battle Rage, maybe?
Didn't he use 2?
He used 1 for sure.
His...
I think he still has the second one.
Yeah, what's challenging is that now that his hand doesn't effectively address too much of the board here, Dark Bomb's a pretty good draw here.
Perfect draw.
Perfect draw?
Well, you want to get rid of the 2/3 creature, because it's...
Oh yeah, good point, good point. So you get some value off of that.
If you want to get creatures on board against Patron, you want to have at least 3 attacks on those.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, he's seen double execute, he has the 2 taunts, so he is in a good spot. He would just also go for face. Like, I would not even be hating on just silencing the Torii Thunder and going ham with everything.
That's interesting. So this is another way that Savjz can try to climb back, having Grommash as a finisher on top of Frothings. But it's just a little too complicated.
You need to draw now weapons to deal with the creatures.
Right.
And if you do that, you're getting really low. You will get 9 damage next turn.
Yeah.
So the Grommash this turn is like the only option to
still
win the game.
Yeah, it's true.
What do you guys think about using Patron here? So like, Warsong Patron, Enrage Patron, and clear the taunts.
It doesn't accomplish much. Like, Grommash can effectively do the same thing, and you can keep those Warsong commanders for what you actually need to use it for.
That's interesting.
Well, he can BGH it if he wants to.
Yeah, but I don't think he does.
I think so. There's not really many Patron warriors that end up running Dr. Boom. So that's pretty much the only target other than a big Frothing Berserker, which
also
you don't need a big game hunter.
Really getting close to killing Savjz. He will deal 8 points of damage this turn.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Big Game Hunter is more of a tempo swing here. Like, even if you have a perfect trade, this 4-2 or 4-5 for a damage damage is okay. But the damage you deal to your opponent's face is more important.
And I think that's it, actually. That's 12 points of damage, 15 with Belcher.
And there's no target to spawn more minions from, you know.
Well, you got the Inner Rage, so that helps you create another Grim Patron, so you can take off. You can take off the 7 damage off the board. You can even use this other Warsong Commander if you really feel desperate to survive. To kill off the big game hunter, so for example.
Yeah, that's true. But it's still over because there's a Shadow Flame. So even though there is no lethal for now, that's 12, right? So he has to kill something.
Yeah, it's got to go. But this is already a really difficult matchup. This is what Handlock was designed to do in the lineup, to kill the Patron Warriors. And so Orange is able to execute his game plan, although he still can't kill him just yet.
Yeah,
8, yeah.
Here is probably just Healbot, Shadow Flame. Maybe you can tap
What about
first.
tap first?
Yeah, obviously tap first.
Because you would have, would you have lethal with Dark Bomb second battle? No, that's not enough.
No, you will not, but you can tap still, because you'll have 8 mana.
Yeah, from here, Orange just has to make sure not to make any moves, which can be exploited by, I guess, the remaining 3 or 4 card combinations. But he might not even have to think that deep.
I think doing whatever best is on the board, not thinking about the future, is more powerful than just overthinking stuff that can happen here.
I like what he did, by the way, because this way he reduces the number of minions on board, so he's not dead to like Warsong double Frothing Whirlwinds, or like Warsong Patron Whirlwinds Battle Rage into some crazy stuff. And he knows that cards are affected by Torii still, so.
Yeah, there's really no way for Savjz to stabilize here. He dies to the simplest damage point. I mean, he'll be dead to pretty much whatever Handlock draws of damage. If it draws Hellfire, if it plays a second Dark Bomb, even a Jiraxis off the top here would be able to kill him.
Well, that's still not lethal, but
yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, but you're fine.
Yeah, you tap, you could probably just silence.
No, you
whatever.
tap and you hope for Hellfire, and that's basically it. Because if you draw Hellfire, you win the game.
Yeah, but if you don't get anything, you can just place a safe here. Like you don't have to go for face. You might just attack one of those.
You want to kill Warzone Commander. That's less Warzone Commanders. Every single draw apart. No, every single draw is basically dead for Warrior because he can only attack once with the patron. So what does it do? Nothing really. Just set up more damage on board and that's it.
The audience watching, a lot of pro
very
players.
closely.
We had so many notable players playing in this tournament. I was just going through the list, and it's crazy. We have people from China. We have people from all over Europe, from US. It's like invitational, but it was open.
So it's 2-2.
It's, yeah. Now we're going to see Grim Patron versus Mage. We don't know what Mage is that. What will be the best Mage for Orange?
Against Patron?
Against Patron.
No, there's
Major Domo Mage?
You played it a lot.
I have no idea
Is
if
it
you're
good?
talking seriously or not.
No, it's pretty
You actually
sick.
got the
You have
legend with-
flame strikes to deal with the board. You have a lot of ice barrier and stuff like that. How do they do?
Okay.
It's actually pretty sick. It's like the one good matchup.
Seems like this one seems like Freeze Mage to me though.
Yeah, well, Freeze Mage has a really bad time against Patron. Like it's
You
still.
think so? Because
it's-
the armor gain is still pretty high.
Still, it's pretty high.
The pressure.
because, if the Freeze Mage doesn't hit turn 9 Alex Straza into threatening lethal next turns, then just the Warrior plays armor ups each turn and just waits for the moment when he can drop double armor smiths and like double whirlwind, death spite, whatever, gain 30 points of armor.
That mulligan
and
was,
finish
by the
game.
way, really interesting. Savjz was thinking of throwing away fireworks.
Well, what do you need that for?
Well, he's not sure what mage it is.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
If it's
Never
like
mind.
if it just happens to be a pretty aggressive tempo mage with
Flame
flame
Waker.
wakers,
Yeah,
you
need that.
absolutely need that to
Yeah,
chop
yeah,
down
yeah.
the sorcerer's
of course.
apprentices or whatever comes out of that unstable portal.
Yeah, but he was definitely looking for Armor Smith. He knows that Armor Smith is good versus any kind of mage.
And he still doesn't know what kind of mage it is after turn 2.
Right.
You know, Mad
Mad
Scientist
Scientist.
doesn't say anything.
Is it a mirror entity that comes out of here?
Yep.
It's still very uncomfortable, but for now, we know it's in Orange's hand. And he does have one card that is beneficial to turning this matchup around in his hand, and that's Emperor Thorson.
This is how you want to win control matchups against Warrior and Patron, but you need to get Antonidas too.
Antonidas is also key because you reduce a lot of those spells, but Emperor Thorson allows you to open up a world of plays based around being able to do a lot of combo damage and maybe even freeze the board. So I'm not counting Orange out of this game just yet, even though a couple factors did go against him. Savjz got the coin, and he does have the Armor Smiths early on.
But he doesn't have the Green Patron yet, and Green Patron was one of the key cards to get the big board and get that value from Armor Smith.
Well, I would say that the Armor Smith is more important
Yeah,
to get
I would
than
side
Patron.
with that too.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't even play the Armor Smith here. Like you don't need it at all. You just want to keep it in your hand when you get your full board and just armor up.
Right.
You know.
I think he's just going for full armor value in general. Plus, the Armor
Well,
Smith,
he has Battle Rage.
right?
Yeah,
he has
that's a
Battle
good
Rage
point,
here,
yeah.
which is super big to get 3 cards. And that was why even taking the early game damage was so important for Warrior.
Wow, now it seems that Savjz has everything.
Yeah, now, I mean, he knows already. Just seeing the Loot Hoarder already indicates strongly that it's Freeze Mage.
Yep.
There's very few mages that still play that. Like, I guess Control Mage would play Loot Hoarder, but you can get the idea that it's Freeze Mage.
Also, there's no good way for Orange to deal with this Throttling Berserker.
Oh,
Well, then I would
there
there it
is.
is.
kind of gotten one, but it's still open to an execute.
It
based
is,
off the weapon.
but if there's no execute, then the Doomsayer is better played. I mean, Doomsayer is better played at the start of the game than later during the
Right.
stages when there's more mana to actually use charge creatures and the more chances to draw the executes.
Also, come on, it's much
Ooh.
better than Fireball into Throttling.
But he's got a kill. He can use the Dread Corsair because it's cheaper, and then Inner Rage that.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that worth dumping your hand? Because what can he do on 6 mana? He can Blizzard. Now you still keep your board-ish.
Well,
So,
with 4 cards, I think it's definitely worth the risk.
yeah.
That's huge investment. Like there will be.
I mean, it's an
These are the
investment that has a
second
big
things.
payoff because you have a Frothing Berserker that's gaining attack. So you are
Yeah.
developing your board. And if he doesn't have the Blizzard, which he doesn't, I mean, look how much damage exists already.
Oh, look at that!
He has the Blizzard now.
What a happy coincidence.
And the Armor Smith is doing its work, by the way.
That's true. Armor Smith gaining 4 health is still nothing to scoff at.
Obviously, if Orange would not have Blizzard, it would be much better for Savjz.
But the Warzone commander is still active.
It is true, but I don't know if that's relevant
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
not. It's not. But
It's just another body that can do damage here. I would have to imagine that Savjz cares more about armoring up too, like as the process goes. You can't play Emperor Thor's in here. You're gonna get punished way too hard.
But you can think about it, right?
Right.
Like, you want to take your time. This is the last game of this important match for Orange.
Right. No, losing here means you're 0-1 to start off Swiss, and you need a 7-1 or 6-1 score as your minimum in order to go to the top 8.
But this is not entirely bad, actually. Losing round 1 means that you are going to play the losers throughout the day. Because you start 0-1, then you play a guy who is 0-1 as well.
What if you match into another person that has a tough matchup too? Like, for example, later today, Firebat's going to play Zalay.
And
the loser of this,
dude,
go ahead and play it. It's already posted online.
Okay.
On round 1. So then what if Orange or Savjz lose here and have to play that?
It can happen. Obviously,
and your tournament's over.
Obviously, being 7-0 is the best, but, you know, you're playing versus losers. Come on.
How much does it stink that you still have to ping and you give him more armor? It's like, this Frosty Berserker obviously has to die, and you want to Frostbolt the Acolyte so it stops drawing.
Without the Antonidas, you can't win.
Yeah.
No. When you use the Frostbolt, you will... Oh.
That's tough. I mean,
That's
it's
a tough decision.
I think...
Oh, there is a Taskmaster, so you can jump more cards
The
now.
perfect punishing card.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you play the Frothing with it, though?
Berserker? Now you play the Frothing, yes.
We'll see. We'll see.
You mean like you play Frothing first to get the +1 attack there?
Oh, yeah. He also gets the charge damage, too.
I would love to see the Frothing Berserker here.
By the way, Savjz can't sneeze with his eyes open.
I heard that
man.
you can.
Me too.
Can sneeze. No, can breathe through your nose when you have your tongue out. Can you try that?
You can't breathe through your nose with your tongue out?
Yeah. You should try that.
Frodan is choking right now, so
no. Okay. I got you. I see what you're trying to do. Thankfully, I wasn't on camera. Thank God. You are evil, you Polish people. Emperor Thorson here doesn't even impact that much. It's just your best play at the moment, unfortunately.
What is the way for Orange to win, by the way? Like, is the only way to block, draw, or maybe go to fatigue somehow? Just
no,
survive?
Freeze Mage will get to fatigue almost as quickly as Patronage because of the draw mechanics in the deck.
Yeah, and he already drew 4 cards from Battle Rage, right?
Wait, how much? This is 4, 6, 10, 22 damage. He can pop the Ice Block with the Gromash.
10, 12, 16,
it's 22 damage.
19, yeah, 22, right. And
that's pretty
5
impressive.
armor. 6 armor.
6 armor?
Yes, because you have Inner Rage too.
Inner Rage is 1 armor.
Yeah, and then, oh yeah, that's 5. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah.
That's really impressive. And looking at 6 cards,
you'd want to also kill Thor. Is there a way to kill Thorzen and pop the Ice Block?
What about Inner Rage?
I don't think so.
Inner Rage, the Acolyte to draw on 1 more card, but then you deny yourself pop the Ice Block. Yeah.
I think you're fine with popping the Ice Block here.
Well, that's the priority. That's priority number 1. Popping Ice Block puts him on a finite clock where he has to generate the ability to live. Okay. I like this. Plus, he draws a card for to see maybe if he picks up Inner Rage.
See first Battle Rage?
Oh, wow. He's going to take 5 blowback.
I didn't like that at all, to be honest. Now he doesn't clear.
I think he's acknowledging that Thorson is probably like the only way that he can come back if he gets like 2 sweeps on the Antonidas and plays Ice Block for 1 mana, and he has, you know, Frostbolt now for 0 mana.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I really can't lose from this position if I kill Thorson versus if I go for the Ice Block pop, I probably might win next turn, but I also give him an opening to win.
Also, it's not like Gromash is easy to take take care. You know, it's like he's seen 1 Doomsayer already with the Nova. So like, how do you deal with Gromash if you don't have Doomsayer Nova combo?
He's got a Frostbolt or Ice Lance. Or maybe these guys know.
Do they look like they know?
I don't think I think a lot of people, unfortunately, think they might know, but being in Orange's seat is really difficult to navigate through because Patron Warrior is not only putting on this pressure, but it's also keeping a lot of card count up. That Battle Rage early on was so significant to be able to get that card draw mechanisms and be able to get 3 cards guaranteed off of the Acolyte. Get out of here. Like, you can't keep up with that card pace.
No, it's
velocity.
get in here.
Well played, sir.
That's an emo.
Well played. They need the Frodan here to come out for $9.99. That's something I'd pay for. And I do the voice acting for free. Just give me royalties at the $9.99.
I think Brian Kilber wanted to do Elendril for Hunter.
Do we have Elendril here? No, we don't have Elendril.
You guys are going too far to the WoW lore. I have no clue what the heck you guys are talking about.
Brian Kilber's hero was Elendril in World of Warcraft TCG, and that was also a card in the World of Warcraft TCG. In World of Warcraft, that was his character, and it was also the character in the World of Warcraft TCG, the Elendril Hunter.
You're speaking Polish to me, Lothar. I don't understand.
Okay, well, I can switch too.
Please speak English. Yeah, I got you.
We did cast in Polish.
So it's basically from the WoW TCG days that they're saying. Okay, gotcha.
It's a Brian Kibler impersonation in WoW TCG.
Yeah. Well, clearly we have nothing else much to contribute about this game if we're talking about that. The Antonidas here draw could have been big.
If there would be a Frost Nova.
Right. There's just too much health on the Warrior to really make it significant, though, because you also have to consider Freezing Face because of the weapons that might come out here.
Yeah, that's right. Like, even if you Antonidas Frost Nova here, it's still possible that you're dead to the weapon strike.
Yeah, but you have to take your chances. Like,
yeah, I think so, for sure.
But he doesn't have the Frost Nova, so what he has to do here is
just double Frostbolt and
double Frostbolt, Ice Lance. Yeah.
Oh, he can.
Well, he's not dead yet. We don't see a weapon.
But there's an execute. So that's
okay, Ice Bear is also appropriate, assuming your opponent doesn't have Warsong Commander, number 2.
Yeah.
That's the way you can get punished.
Can Orange actually turn around this game?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's a remote possibility, but I'm going to peg it at a little bit under 1%.
He has to use those fireballs to clear the minions. So there will be no more phase damage, because now the Antonidas will die as easy as looked like. So
he doesn't have enough damage to even kill him right now. Like, if you pair together all of the fireballs and the Pyroblast, that's only 32 damage, and War's at 40. So how do you even kill him? You need Alex Strauss.
And there's a second Armor Smith, also in the deck. And your hero power is falling short 1 each turn, so it just piles on.
Well, there is a minion that maybe if survives will deal some damage.
No, you're right. There is a remote possibility. Maybe Orange has Malygos out of nowhere and just surprises us.
Malygos, wow. But there's the second execute. Oh.
Yeah, there's a second execute.
I mean, Alex Strauss then comes into play and doesn't have another. Oh, he has Big Game Hunter, right?
Well,
yeah. All right, well, I guess Savjz really does have all the answers.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so here you just Fireball and Ping Gramage. You have 4 mana left. I guess you can just play your minions, because those minions will try to deal some damage. That's basically it. You don't have to play the Ice Block. 8 points.
I'd even consider playing Doomsayer here after the Loot Hoarder, just to... Or actually, he can play the Ice Block. That's a bigger priority. That's a smart call. But assuming he had the opportunity to, I think being able to be preemptive on the board is also key. You just need to stop the pressure as much as possible. But the Ice Block was definitely correct here.
Armor Up Pass. I don't really like the Frothing Berserker in this situation.
If you play Frothing, you lose Frothing to Fireball. So basically you are...
he has... Oh, well, I think he has 8 damage guaranteed with the Patron, Inner Rage, and Warsong anyways.
Look at that. Now, that's the reason why I didn't like the Frothing Berserker.
I think it's fine, though, because he still has 8 damage from the hand with the Inner Rage and the Warsong Commander on the Grim Patron. That'll create
he has to draw
a 5 and 3. Yeah, but why would you drop the Frothing Berserker? Like, why would you care about it? Because you have Warsong Commander for charge damage.
What to do?
So I think the only way that it could backfire is if his opponent has like a really cheap Alex Strauss, and even then he can still answer it with a big game hunter.
Also, you're losing tempo, because right now Flame Strike might be the play, and if you just play the Loot Hoarder, it's getting a ping and that's it. He might be thinking Frostbolt. Like, I would definitely like to see Mad Scientist being played here. He needs minions to start dealing some damage. But then again, if you use Flame Strike, you have nothing to deal with Green Patron turn. Oh man, this is tough. Like, what about just Frostbolt into Frothing, ping the 2-1, and start attacking with his Loot Hoarder?
Yeah, well, drawing first I still think is the best move here. I mean, there's only so many cards you can continue to draw and hope that it can change the tide of the game. But his next out here is to make him play for an Alex Straza play and hope his opponent doesn't have an answer to it.
I'm really curious about this. I would definitely use minions to start attacking and get some armor down. And he's making this super defensive play, but he's just leaving floating there.
Yeah, well, I guess that was really weird. Now he can pop the ice block.
Can he?
Right? Well, most
he's
likely
actually
he can.
1 damage.
Yeah, he's one off.
But he can draw a weapon. Oh, he didn't draw it. Okay, never mind.
Well, that's kind of hilarious. Patron can't generate 1 point of damage. You've been drawing 3 cards this turn. You still have the opportunity to go for some pretty big armor plays as you drop Armor Smith #2 or you just drop Ember Thorson and armor up. The point is, Freeze Mage has a limited amount of damage in their deck, especially now that Antonize is dead.
Yeah, what's the card count?
It's 5 remaining for Savjz. I didn't see how many is remaining for Orange.
I would guess the same.
Around the same. Freeze Mage draws a lot in this deck. It weeds out through Mad Scientist, where it grabs from your deck and plays it. It's got Acolyte of Pain, Arcane Intellect, Loot Hoarders.
I like going for face, because if this game is going to get to fatigue, Orange is just going to die. And
no Alex Straza for him.
5 cards.
At least he still has Ice Block for 1 more turn.
And no weapon to proc it for Savjz.
Alex Straza is the Life Binder. Brings life and hopes to everyone except Deathwing.
It brings life and...
Deathwing, Malagas, and Necron. Yeah, basically Alex Straza helps to deal them.
Yeah. I mean, that is 19 points of burn. Well, I guess 22 if you count that Thanos might live. But
That's
it's still so
fight.
far away. Yeah. Now he's got to Frostbolt the face in order to survive, but then there's Armor Smith gaining life. Yeah, the Thanos surviving, though, is generally pretty powerful if you can get those spell combinations off.
I really wonder if he plays any dragons here.
Well, he has to play.
Orange.
Oh, well, he has Alex Straza.
He has to have Alex Straza. In fact, that's like Freeze Mage's one of the most core cards outside of the burn.
This sucks for Orange. The draws didn't pan out like at all.
Even then, it's still pretty tough when your opponent draws as well as he did, because this Alex Straza has to be used defensively.
Yep.
And when you put your opponent, when you play Alex Straza on yourself,
you can't win.
You generally don't win this matchup at all.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there's so much life.
It's already GG.
Is that lethal this turn, though? Not yet. But
no, it doesn't
he can take his time, for sure. I mean, Harrison does put a lethal on the board.
Grants free armor if there's a flame strike. So Orange is drawing dead. Seems like there's nothing in his deck to finish the game.
There's nothing really drawing dead anymore. There's just no more threats in his deck.
Yeah,
he's got one more.
Thinking about what can he draw.
He's got 1 more Ice Lance. He used all of his secrets, right?
1 more Fireball, maybe.
I lost track of the Fireball, so you might be right.
There was like 18 of them. So.
And then that's it. He's like, that's all his cards left in his deck.
Yeah. He doesn't have minions that can generate card damage. I mean, damage over time.
His hope might be that Savjz doesn't have any cards remaining, but Savjz has the best combination right here. He's got Grim Patron and the Warsong Commander.
Well, he doesn't have lethal with this. This is
Emperor is just way better.
Yeah. I mean, also keeps armoring up. Also, the Fatigue War, like, it's very clear Freeze Mage will die first if he just keeps armoring up, and Freeze Mage also with deck fatigues out. There's no way for Mage to really outpace here. Second Fireball, though.
So there's still... Iceland's the last card, possibly.
Yeah, he has to use this on the Emperor Thorson. He doesn't want to play Acolyte of Pain because it's going to accelerate him to fatigue. It's his last minion that can get repetitive damage in. So Orange is going to dance this one out. Maybe on behalf of seeing all of Savjz's cards in case he matches him in the future. Maybe he's passing information to his Archon teammates. Like if you play Savjz next round, here you go.
That's deep. That's deep.
I mean, that's
but it makes sense, of course. Yeah.
With his dying breath, I will support Amaz. Take my energy!
It's really hard to concede, by the way, especially in this spot. It takes a lot of mental strength.
I mean, it takes 2 clicks, but I know what you mean.
Kind of.
Hearthstone is confusing, man. I mean, what if you accidentally create your 10th deck slot when you try to concede?
Or you just change your card back into something you really dislike?
Well, you're fatigued out, so it doesn't even matter then.
At this point, it doesn't, yeah.
Oh, we just got a word too that Amaz ended up losing his first round. That's a pretty big deal.
Who was he playing against?
I don't know. We'll check in as the match report scores or match score reports.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But we'll let you know as soon as. In the meantime, we're about to finish out the final dance ceremony here. Savjz has been courting Orange for a while, but he will take this first big win. I mean, sending not only just getting 1-0, but sending Orange to 0-1 is also increasing his chance significantly to have a good deep run here as the tournament progresses, this is going to be the final turns here.
And Savjz actually has a lot of experience with the Swiss tournaments. Like, Savjz was the first winner of the big Swiss Gamers Origin in France. 200 people, and he won that. So I have high hopes for Savjz
But
here.
that tournament had a really weird cut to top after
like top 16.
Top 64, I think.
Oh, top 64?
Or top 32.
In the first edition.
No. That was a different one. You're thinking about the one where they had like at a big university.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was Gamers Origin too. Savjz did later.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty quirky interaction that Blizzard also freezes the copied Grim Paging that comes out. It's kind of a interesting thing where you play removal spells on the patron directly, and it ends up affecting it. Kind of like Imp Gang Boss. If you swipe Imp Gang Boss directly, you kill the 1-1, but if you swipe another minion, it actually creates the 1-1 and it lives.
Yep. It's all about the stack. In World of Warcraft and Magic, you have the stack, or like, how is it called in Magic? Is it stack as well?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
All right, well.